Greetings and blessings, everyone. James Thomas, David here again, coming to you live from Newtown, Wellington, New Zealand. Anyway, didn't really get many questions last week, so we didn't do one of these, but this week we've got a lot of questions. So one thing that I would like to stay straight away, we have a wide range of people in our group, come from all over the world. Some people like myself, I've been on this path for close to 30 years now, and I've experienced a hell of a lot of stuff and awakened to a lot of stuff. I do a lot of things. And we have those people in the group who are just awakening. I don't want anyone to feel like you can't ask a question. The only stupid question is the question not asked. If you have a question, even if you might think, oh, well, this would be probably, pretty kind of stupid, or ask it anyway. This isn't a place of judgment. This is a place of sanctuary, of love. This is a place of God. It is what it is. One of the things that I've been changing in my life recently, drinking a hell of a lot more water. 750 milliliters. Got it for $15 at Kathmandu yesterday. And this is my second bottle today so far. And it's just now 5-1. So 3 to 4 bottles of this every day. I'm going to cut down on the coffee. Yeah. My body's we have to listen to our bodies, because our bodies will tell us what we need. Our bodies will tell us what we should be doing. And my body's saying cut back on caffeine, like coffee, because I do tend to drink quite a bit of coffee. Drink more water. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Anyway, let's get on to questions. All right. So the first one. Paula Dowling Atherley, and please understand if I screw up anyone's names, I do apologize. As most people can attest, I'm not the best when it comes to names. So, aborted and stillbirths that have not gone full term, when they go home, do they grow up in age? Does that make sense? Yes, it does. And there is a lot of debate amongst different groups, different peoples with regards to this. The soul doesn't actually enter the physical body until birth. That doesn't mean that the soul doesn't visit. It doesn't mean that the soul wouldn't come into the body while the mother is still pregnant, but it won't remain there. It doesn't fully come in until birth, and the reason for that is very simple. The soul has until the very last moment to choose whether to come in or not. There's a program, I'm not sure how many of you people may or may not have watched it, One Born Every Minute. Now, I'm talking about the UK version. America did it as well, and I'm sure that most Americans who saw it doesn't even actually realize it originated in the UK. However, having said that, there's been 2 occasions that my wife and I have watched the program. The physical child has been born, and then right after that, we actually watched as the soul entered the body. So, they don't grow up like a person would grow up here. There's also there's a lot of different variations on this as well, because a soul may have chosen not to come in. at the last moment. Um, a woman may have chosen to experience losing a child in a stillbirth or a miscarriage. My half-sister, Terry, she was really kind of a strange situation with her. She had a miscarriage, and then she had a child, then she had a miscarriage, then she had a child, then she had a miscarriage, then she had a child. So, and the other thing is that it could be a situation where the soul, it's planning on coming through one person, and something occurs, something happens, a different choice is made, and the child decides, I'm still going to be part of this family. This is the right family for me. But that say the woman has two sisters, so there's three sisters all up, and the one sister's pregnant. This child is going to come through her, and then something changes, or it's a situation where she's actually not the one meant to be the mother, and then the child actually gets born to one of her sisters. It's happened before, it'll happen again. The other one, and I bring this up simply because of the question, you ask, do they grow up? There's a situation called a walk-in. And this is where a soul gets born into a physical body. And at an appointed time, they leave that body, and another soul enters the body because of an agreement that's been done. When it happens, say at the age of 2, it's not a situation where that soul goes off and who came in at birth and was there for the first 2 years and then goes off and goes, well, I'll just grow up over on the other side. No, they did that because that's what they wanted to experience. That's what they wanted to do. And the soul coming in at the age of 2 didn't need to do that and had other things they needed to do. And they wouldn't be able to do it if they came in on birth. I am a walk-in. I walked in at the age of 2. That's why I know about it. Got a nickel caught in my throat, and that's when the transfer happened. Apparently my face turned an incredible shade of blue, and yeah. So the soul isn't growing up. The soul has already lived countless lifetimes, hundreds, if not thousands of lifetimes already. So that soul's not growing up, per se, okay? To incarnate on this planet is a big deal. And there are a lot of different things that we agree to, that we choose for a lifetime, that once we get here we don't remember. And so, sorry, probably more information than you were looking for, but they don't grow up and age on the other side. Okay? So, hope that answers that question. Okay, Paula again, with regards to your orbs. Orbs can represent many different things. Many times, my personal experiences around orbs or generally they are either individuals who have passed, and it's not all of them. It's just like um, an energy that gets released, shall we say. Could be guides, it could be extraterrestrials in nature, it could be we folk. Generally, in my experience, in my personal experience, orbs generally means visitation, and so there are those individuals who are there with you. They utilize things like orbs to let you know that they're there. One thing you can do, which is kind of fun, is when you see them, acknowledge them, say hello, see what happens. I think if you did that, it might prove to be very, very interesting. Okay. Let's see. Open that up a little bit more. Okay. Athena Stevens, if you don't ascend, what happens? I just read something somewhere that said it has to do with our pineal glands. What can we do when energy shifts have us feeling different things? And is there a diet? I'll take these one at a time if you don't mind, Athena. If you don't ascend, what happens? Let's see. You just keep going. Pretty easy answer. Easy question, actually. Look. 20 years ago, when I was looking at things like ascension and stuff like that, one of the things that struck me is how so many within the New Age or metaphysical world who viewed ascension and ascending from the third dimension to the fifth dimension, how they viewed it almost identical to how a Christian views going to heaven, where it's perfect and there's pure perfection and everything is beautiful and it's just magical beyond words and blah blah blah. Ascending is basically you are moving from one reality to another reality. This can happen by crossing over. People who are crossing over today, when they come back, more than likely they're going to come back with a higher vibrational energy. They're going to come back with more awareness than what they had this time. And technically speaking, that's classified as an ascension. Reincarnating within the same embodiment is also an ascension. Reincarnating within the same embodiment is challenging beyond words, but you do emerge out very different than you were before. So, if you don't ascend, no, nothing happens. You keep walking the path. You keep on the journey. And sooner or later you will pass different markers and you will ascend in essence, because you will actually transform from one aspect of yourself to a different aspect of yourself. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't worry too much about ascending. People have such a focus on tomorrow and yesterday and, what about this and what about this? Be here now. When the time comes, you'll know. The ascending that people are doing today is a reincarnation within the same embodiment. There are those who are doing it, who have been doing it. There are others who will be doing it when they are ready. And if they don't do it, say in this incarnation, in this embodiment now, it'll happen when they come back. So you're going to ascend whether it just is. I know that people have this in their head that ascension means going from here to the fifth dimension, and that's what they were told back in the 80s, 90s. The one constant in the universe is change. A lot of people are still in for a lot of surprises. Now, the second part here was what can we do when energy shifts have us feeling different things? When you are feeling energy shifts happening, the best thing you can do is step back and just feel them. Don't try and control them. Don't try and understand them. Feel what's happening on the inside. Feel what's happening within you, within your heart. Allow it to just flow. And if you do that, believe it or not, it'll be a lot easier for you to experience. Energy shifts can be very challenging, shall we say, but good nonetheless. And is there a diet specifically for the awakened? Yes, whatever your body wants. I'm sure that there would be, people that could make a mint, millions of dollars by coming out with books and going, if you are on this spiritual path and you have awakened, follow this diet and you'll be awesome. No. All you have to do is listen to what your body's telling you. Water. That's what my body's telling me. Drink more water. So yesterday we went to Kathmandu to look at a couple of things. I got myself a new, they call it a messenger bag. And I'd been wanting a water bottle for a while. And these were on sale for $15. Of course, I was confused because I saw another one in the store identical to this, only this part here, which is blue on mine, on this other one was green, with a green lid, where I have a blue lid, and that one was $40. So I got the blue one, which blue's my color anyway. Pina, listen to your body. Your body will tell you what it wants, what it doesn't want. People place too many rules, A really good friend of mine is a vegan. She's a vegan because it's a moral thing. And I had another friend who was a vegetarian for many, many years. And she ended up being tired and cranky and angry and all of these things. And it just perpetuated and continued and continued and continued. And finally one day, no, I'm going to have some meat. And she had some meat. And that's what her body had been trying to tell her to have. All of a sudden she could sleep. All of a sudden she felt calm. All of a sudden she felt balanced. Don't eat because people say this is what you should or should not eat. Don't do it out of moral reasons. Eat what your body wants. If your body doesn't want meat, don't eat meat. If your body wants meat, then eat meat. It's not difficult. Part of the problem with people and their health, actually, and this is whether they're spiritual or not, because I've met a lot of spiritual people who are morbidly obese, who did not like themselves, all of that. So it doesn't matter if they're spiritual or not, or volunteer or native human, it doesn't matter. But you can tell the people who don't listen to what their body wants them to eat. They look sick. They look out of whack. They look out of balance. I used to be like that. And when I was like that, I weighed 165 kilos. I was massive. And it took a long time for me to learn to listen to what my body wanted. And instead of eating meat 3 meals a day, which is what I was doing when I lived in the States before I got together with Janice, now I might have it 2 or 3 times a week. And I throw in some fish and seafood. And, but I mean, my body will say, we'll go this way, you know. I'll have some black pudding or, you know, whatever, pork, beef, chicken, whatever. Doesn't matter. I listen to my body tells me what I need. It'll even tell me how much to eat, how much not to eat. If I overeat, I will wake up about 2:15, 2:30 in the morning with a really upset, cramped stomach, which I then have to get up, right? And I'll be up the rest of the night in loads of pain. Your body will tell you what it needs. So, no diet. You know, listen within. That's all you got to do. Okay. Oh, shock and surprise, Afina Stevens. One more question. What significance do aliens have in enlightenment and its teaching? I don't like using the term alien, but you get what I mean. I get what you mean, Afina. I kind of prefer extraterrestrial myself. Extraterrestrial, all that means is he is a person who is not from this planet. So technically I'm an extraterrestrial, but that's beside the point. Well, let's see. All of the volunteers who are here can be classified as extraterrestrials because their soul does not come from this planet. Volunteers have lived in the Pleiades, Arcturus, Sirius, Elamak is from Sirius, Anna and Carolyn, Pleiades, so on and so on. I come from what is known as the Great Central Sun. Although I've been to the Pleiades and Sirius and Arcturus and so on, so on, so on. We are here to assist this planet in its evolution. So, in its enlightenment, I don't really know if that's actually the right word. I guess you could definitely use it. It's about guiding people on a path. But they're the ones who have to do the work. They're the ones who have to come up with the ideas. And volunteers, we do work publicly, you know, like I'm doing these videos, and anyone around the planet, whether they belong to this group or not, can go onto YouTube. And if they find me, they can find this video on questions and answers and go, holy crap, wow, this is cool, And they don't know anything about our group, And then there's people who do all the work on the inner planes. And what they do goes into the collective unconsciousness. And then all of a sudden, other volunteers, native humans, they can all draw on the work that that person has done. I know someone who has done that a lot in this lifetime. Or rather, shall I say, in this embodiment. So, the extraterrestrials, that's us. We are here to assist this planet in its evolution and moving forward. So, great significance, I would say. Because if we weren't here, they wouldn't be at this point. And then again, who knows? Lulu. Am I able to look into another person's third eye and see their true form or even past life forms? What about pictures of people? The eyes, Lulu. Not the third eye, the eyes. The old saying, the eyes are the windows to the soul. Everyone has the ability to do that. Whether that's an ability you have in this particular incarnation or not, it's not for me to say. I do have that ability. And sometimes it's been very intense having that ability. But the eyes, not the third eye, the eyes. The third eye is for them. It's for the individual to utilize if they're able to, if it's not closed off like mine is. So you get someone like me whose third eye is closed off and you wouldn't be able to see anything anyway. The eyes, Lulu, the eyes. If you see this before your mother-in-law comes, look into her eyes and see what you see. Carolyn Rose. Venus questions have raised some for me. I never thought of going home as ascending, but going home. Also, people who are here from other planets, aren't they here to help this planet evolve and have usually helped out on other planets as well? To be honest with you, Carolyn, I've never viewed ascending in that regard either. For me, when I leave, I will go home. Because I ascended once before a long, long time ago somewhere far, far away, shall we say. And we are here to assist in the evolution of this world. And there are many on this world. You are one of them. Anna's one of them. There are many here in this group who assisted in the Pleiades, who assisted in Sirius, who assisted in Arcturus, different places. I'm going to be doing the channeling this afternoon and with Tobin, and I think might surprise some people, so we'll see how that goes. So yeah, your questions were very easy to answer. Anahira Aroha, love the name. Why do people say that what they work with is the highest form of vibration? Are we not all connected to the great source, spirit, love? Well, perhaps what they're working with is the highest form of vibration that they are able to access. We are all connected to God. or great source, spirit, whatever you want to call it. There's a piece of God within everyone's heart. And it's the heart, it's not your physical heart, it's the soul's heart, shall we say. So we are all connected. It would depend upon the individual who says it, to be honest with you. It could be from a place of ego. It could come from a place where they actually think they are connecting with the highest vibration possible. Personally, I don't think that's actually doable here. Because once you leave here and you go into that higher dimension, and shall we say, the vibration gets a lot higher than what we can access here. If we accessed energies too high here, it would literally take us off this planet, and we wouldn't be able to be here. So, personally, I would say don't even worry about what people say in regard to that. We are all connected to God. We are all connected to each other as well. And that's a good thing. Trish Jones. How do I feel my own energy connection? I have Reiki energy and I feel that all the time, but how do I feel mine? I'm having a hard time trying to feel mine, so to speak. I'm very familiar with the Reiki energy, the universal life force energies that is utilized through Reiki. Having been a Reiki master now for over 24 years. What I keep feeling is you need to go into your inner temple within your heart. Because in your inner temple within your heart, the only energy that's in there is yours. It is a sacred space. I don't know if you've watched the video I did on meditations and journeys, but if you watch that, there is instructions on going into the inner temple within your heart. And I would say that's what you need to start doing straight away. And once you do that, then you'll be able to connect more fully with your energy, with who you are. And the more you do this, then when you're not in the temple of your heart, then it'll be a lot easier for you to just connect with who you are in your own energy. I kind of feel as well that there's a little bit of a disconnect. It's almost like I'm just going to say this, so, take it, discern in your own heart. It feels to me as though you feel that, like, doing Reiki and stuff like that is quite important. But you don't view yourself with the same importance. And you really need to. Go within the temple in your heart and start feeling you. Start connecting more with your own energy. Within the temple in your heart, That's going to be the best way of doing that. All right. Great question, by the way. Sean. Hopefully everything's going well in France. Are there any hints to her lucid dreaming or astral travel you can share? The only things that I could really say with regards to the lucid dreaming and astral projection is stating your intent, and just practice it and work with it. I don't have inner vision. I feel things, but how I experience things a lot of times is different than a lot of people because I don't see. Which is why I've always so enjoyed doing meditations and journey work with people. Stating your intent. You can also ask your guides for assistance. You just keep practicing it, and the more you just practice sooner rather than later, that will open up for you, and you'll be able to do that more consciously. Christian Pacifico, love your name. How are things in Italy? Christian, could dreams while we are sleeping mean something that have to do with past life? Sometimes, yes, it can. When we look at a past life, we don't see the entire life. We don't see from birth to death. We just see bits and pieces of it, and it's those bits and pieces that hold the information that we need for our life now. Now, it may be a situation that there is something from a past life that's knocking on your door. And it's knocking on your door because you need to acknowledge it to release it. Or perhaps it's something that has to do with what's going on in your life right now. So yes, definitely, dreams could have something to do with the past life. Dreams are there for a couple of reasons. One, they're there to assist us in working out issues or situations that we're dealing with in our current life. But it also could be that they're messages from our guides or from those on the other side of the veil. It could be have to do with our past lives. Dreams are there to assist us. And so I do encourage people who remember their dreams to keep a dream journal. And the longer you keep the dream journal, when you go back 6 months or a year back and you start reading your dreams, patterns will form and you'll actually be able to gain a lot of insight in that manner. Just an idea. Yes, Lulu, it's definitely going to be an interesting video. Okay, Lulu, when I meditate and visit my main guide, I visit her in a special place. We do lots of talking and other things, and I stay for what feels like a whole day. Then when I become alert again, it has been only 15 to 30 minutes. How is that possible? Because on the other side of the veil, shall we say, that's not linear time. There have been times when I've gone to bed at night, slept for, say, 7 or 8 hours. And I wake up in the morning and I look at the clock and I went to bed at 9:30. It's 6 o'clock now. Cool. and I've been gone for 2 weeks. There's an episode in I think I said this on another video, but there's an episode on Next Generation, Star Trek Next Generation, where a probe sends an energy beam and it connects with Captain Picard. And I won't give all the details of the episode, but I'm sure you could find it if you really wanted to. But the situation is that he lived 40 years on another planet, but in his reality, on board the Enterprise, only 30 minutes went by. On the other side of the veil, where you would meet your guide, that's not linear time. So you could actually be with her for a day or 2 days or 3 days or even a week. 15, 20 minutes has passed here. It enables us to be able to do more and interact more. Than we could otherwise, shall we say. Athena. Beautiful, wonderful questions. Let me just have a look here. Yep, no problem. Okay, Athena. All right. Ley lines. Ley lines are energy grids around the planet. They're very well versed with these in England. And there are those in America that are as well. These ley lines crisscross the planet. And it basically, it's like... This may not be the best analogy, but probably the closest. Our bodies have veins which transport blood around our bodies. Without that system going on, we wouldn't be able to, our physical bodies wouldn't be able to survive, because it can't survive without blood, because the blood transports the oxygen, nutrients around and everything. Well, the ley lines is basically the same thing, but for the planet. It doesn't transport blood, it transports energy. In a nutshell, that's what it is. As far as HAARP goes, I have read a little bit about HAARP. HAARP is a military facility in Alaska. And there are those who say that HAARP is utilized to affect the weather. And it can affect earthquakes, things like this. I don't know a lot about it. If you type in HAARP in the internet or in Google, I'm sure you'll find loads of information on it. To be honest with you, it's not something I'm really that interested in, mainly because there's so much fear around it. But the HAARP, totally different from ley lines. Ley lines are the energy lifeblood, if you will, of the planet. And they are all over the planet. And you can actually look up and you'll be able to find maps of ley lines around the planet. And where they crisscross are power centers. And they're, like I believe one of the power centers is where Stonehenge is. So there's a lot there. And a Hera, what is the difference between a medium and a psychic? I can connect with people in spirit bringing through messages for loved ones, but not so much with objects. Objects, that's something different again. That's, I forgot what they call that. That's a different kind of psychic ship, or whatever you want to call it. Mediumship basically is my definition of it, plain and simple, is where you are accessing people who are in the near realms. These are people who have crossed over from their lifetime here. The main purposes of mediumship is to show or demonstrate to people that when they cross over, life isn't over with, life isn't finished, it continues on. The other main thing about mediumship is it does provide healing for people who are left here. Being a psychic is a little bit different. You're not accessing individuals who have crossed. You are accessing energies. You are accessing you're accessing the energy of the universe basically to ascertain information on a person. I can get a lot from looking at a person or looking at a picture from a person. Not really with objects per se. And I'm a channeler, so I channel higher dimensional beings, but I'm not a medium. I don't go into the near realms. And I mean, I wouldn't need to anyway. There's loads of mediums around. Both people like John Edward and Colin Fry and Lisa Williams, the really famous ones too. I mean, there's heaps of mediums here in New Zealand. So mediumship, being a psychic, a channeler, healer, all of these things, tarot reader, astrologer, these are all things to assist people on their path. That's what it's about. Sean, I've just realized something. Before I even read up on it, I found it natural to color healing as golden light and see others have too. Is there a significance? Basically because golden light was one of the chief colors, shall we say, that the healers utilized in the ancient, like back in Lemuria, Atlantis, in those areas. You're accessing that, as do a lot of other people, because it's there, and it's there for people to access because it's in the collective unconsciousness. So keep using it. It's a good thing to use. Catherine Tilby. Must we always verbalize aloud our requests, discussions, questions, intentions, etc. with spirit? Technically, no. Spirit will hear you either way. Verbalizing it, though, gives it a stronger energy. And because it does give it a stronger energy, this is why so many encourage people to verbalize it. To verbalize what your intentions and all of these things with spirit, because it sends out much more vibration and energy. Technically, if you thought it, spirit would still hear it, but verbalizing it does give it an oomph, if you will. So technically no, but it's still a good thing to do. Now, there was Go back up. Nice picture, Carolyn. And Hera, Aroha. Your question will be last, although you didn't put it in the question and answer section. A huge question. I say this because it weighs on my heart. Why must following your heart to help others in need to be a competition amongst some light workers? Should we not be supporting each other, as it does take much courage to step into this role? That's one of the best questions I've ever heard in my life while I've been on this path. And it's a question that asked myself many times as well. You know, it's funny. Janice and I, we enjoy watching reality TV. So we watch The Block, Reno Rumble, MasterChef, Idol, X Factor, The Voice. And technically, these are all competitions. And my wife always hates the elimination show, which I understand. But we are not competitive in any way, shape, or form. We don't compete with each other. We don't compete with others. I find the whole concept of competition to be stupid, and moronically so. It doesn't matter if a person's a light worker or not. Most light workers have egos. And it's all about, one moment, start up the music again. The competition part is stupid. I have said since day dot in this life, I am on this planet to be of service. And it's true. And there are times that I see people post things, spiritual things, and I sit here and I read it and I'm like, no, that is not the case at all. And I don't say anything, because what is true for one person isn't necessarily true for somebody else. And I certainly don't have a right to tell somebody that the way they choose to believe is wrong. All you can do is follow your heart and be true to who you are. There will be those, as Carolyn will probably attest to, who will try and tear you down, who will tell you that you're wrong, that you're full of shit, that you don't have a clue about what's going on. And there will be people like us in this group who will say, good on you. Love to you. We send you our support, blessings, love, all that, because we don't care. We honor you. Just because you're you. See, that's what makes this group different from all the other groups. There's no judgment, there's no criticism, there's no blame game, there's no bullshit, there's none of that crap. When I see spiritual people who claim to be spiritual, who are just filled with ego and competition and, oh, look at how awesome I am and everything that I do, and it's like, go away. Bye. Don't let it weigh you down. There are going to be people out there like that. There's an old Buddhist saying, the only person you can choose for or control is you. You can't do it for anybody else. So don't worry about what others do. And it does take great courage to step into this role. Walking a spiritual path is harder than most people could ever imagine. There are so many of us who walk this spiritual path and have friends and family criticize us, blast us, deny us, throw us away. They don't want to be our friends anymore. They don't want to be around us anymore. All of these things. So what do? Do we throw away the spiritual side of who we are to placate other people? Or do we tell them, well, piss off then, because if you can't accept me for who I am, you can't be in my life. Hard as hell to do, I know. In January of this year, I did that to my half-sister Terry. I said, see ya. She's out of my life now, permanently, for good. My mother has passed, my father has passed, my grandparents have passed. And I have my stepmother and my stepsister. You all know my stepsister, Carla. She's just my sister now. And I don't understand it because she's more of a sister to me than my half-sister ever was. I had my sister Terry and her husband tell me one time, well, you're just going to go to hell. I don't care. This is who I am. Like me, hate me, I don't give a shit. I am going to stand for who I am. I stand in the light of God every moment of every day. Those with eyes to see will see it. Those with ears to hear will hear it in my words and what I write. And those who don't, won't. I've reached a point in my life where I don't care anymore what anyone thinks. I don't care what they say. I could care less. This is who I am. This is me. Like it or lump it, I don't really care. So don't let the actions of others burn your heart on a heda. You simply be true to your heart, to who you are. You, along with every single person in this group and every person on this planet, you are sacred. Here you are honored. All right. Just trying to see if I've missing anything here. Okay. Okay, so that's going to be it for this version of questions and answers. Video's gone for an hour, so listen, everybody, have a great weekend, rest of your weekend, whatever. And remember, be true to who you are, because you're sacred and you're loved. Peace.